Many players saw the potential Sokka had straight away the day he got revealed, and others should have realized the power of this particular Sokka by now. Sadly though, he pretty much got immediately eclipsed by the 6 attack IMA combo discovered by player Ufmi, which works on a similar principle and was more than likely inspired by the reveal of this Sokka. As Hololive 2 was already available in Japanese, IMA got a lot of attention in the West as well as in Japan, and actually got banned while I was in the process of making this video. The idea behind both the cards Sokka offering different perspectives and Ayame and her package is that they allow for characters to be spawned during the attack phase. As long as a character is in stand position, that character is allowed to declare an attack, and since neither Sokka nor Ayame's ability specify a position to spawn their targets in, we by default spawn in the standing position. This means that with these cards, you can easily get more than 3 attacks per turn, much earlier than you normally would be able to, and can apply tremendous pressure on our opponents during their first deck. However, I believe this Sokka is a lot more versatile in its usage, and much like his name implies, offers a few different ways to utilize him. This card should honestly not exist, but since Sokka is best boy and doesn't have a cool finisher, or even a level 3 card at all, I'll allow it until Bushi doesn't. Much like the IMS, Sokka doesn't do anything weird on its own, and needs at least one other card to abuse his ability. There are 2 options really, and either works just fine. The first is the obvious standby climax. Triggering standby allows you to overplay the Sokka during combat with a character from your waiting room in the rested position, which has the obvious side effect of putting the Sokka into the waiting room, thereby proccing the second timing on his ability and allowing us to spawn another character from the deck, this time in the standing position. The second option is the 2/2 Azula Sinister Scheme, that on attack can put a character from the stage into the waiting room for a potential card to hand from the top of your deck, achieving the same thing as the previous example, just a bit less clunky and at a later stage of the game, without the need of even running standby at all. The 2/2 Azula and standby do have inherent synergy with each other, so you can easily run both options with the Sokka. At any point in the game, you can get 4+ attacks with different board configurations. One example is if you field 2 Sokka and a random attacker, triggering standby on the last attack, and overplaying a copy of Sokka with something from the waiting room will net you 2 extra attacks. This is obviously RNG, but at worst, whiffing the standby trigger means you'll have 2 Sokkas on the board ready to resolve going into your next turn, meaning that your low roll scenario is pretty much the same as just playing the game normally. Where the possibilities start getting more exciting is during finisher turns, where Sokka can greatly increase your game-ending potential by adding in extra attacks into the mix. The most talked about cards to combo with Sokka have been the Azula and Zuko level 3, which both combo on the same standby climax and allow for multiple instances of damage by themselves. My personal preference would go out to the Azula, since she can use the cost of her ability to put the Sokka into the waiting room. But she does need to reverse, which means your opponent still has some type of counterplay available. While Zuko also needs to survive his attack to get his combo off, as the combat step is after the damage step, he at least has the option to side or direct attack. You then have decent chance of triggering a standby climax because of the multiple attacks he performs, and finding one means you can overplay the Sokka for even more attacks. Both triple Zuko and double Azula have 5 to 6 instances of damage by themselves, and adding Sokka into the mix can get you up to 9 if not more instances of damage. Sokka isn't just limited to extending finisher combos, no, he can actually help extend any combo that involves attacking. Let's take the level 1 Azula Talented Sister as an example, though any other costless level 1 climax combo will work to some degree. We attack with a mix of Sokka and Azula, with the Azula Door Climax in play. Azula with a climax combo increases the odds of finding a standby to trigger, allowing you to overplay the Sokka with a beefy 2/2 or possibly another Sokka from the waiting room. With the Sokka on board hitting the waiting room, you can easily summon another level 1 Azula from the deck, which will immediately be ready to attack and resolve climax combo herself, repeating the process and netting you both extra attacks and extra cards in hand, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Let's take a look at another example. The 2/2 Azula can either be standbyed out at level 1 or hardplayed at level 2 if you don't run standby. Then, with a board of 2 Sokkas and 1 2/2 Azula, we played the Bar Climax. Attacking with double Sokka first, we then proceed to use the Azula effect, putting 1 Sokka into the waiting room and potentially netting us a card off of her effect. The Sokka being put into the waiting room has his ability triggered, and we use him to spawn a 1/0 top from our deck onto the stage over the other Sokka. With the other Sokka being played over and now put into the waiting room as well, we again summon a 1-0 Toph from our deck onto the stage, this time on the open slot. Now this all happens during the attack declaration of the 2/2 Azula. We then finish her attack as normal and now have 2 level 1 Toph ready to go with her climax already in play and each being able to resolve their climax combo for another +2 in hand. The net result of this example is your usual 3 stock, +3 hand, and 5 attacks with a climax in play for extra soul at the net cost of clocking yourself 2 times. It really doesn't matter if you do this with Azula or Toph or any other level 1 climax combo. It's pretty broken to be able to achieve this at a cost that minimal. Sokka being able to extend both finisher and level 1 climax combos makes him a 100% 4-off in any deck. His extension is already crazy with these basic setups, but when you start overplaying Sokkas with other Sokkas, or start using Encores to send Sokkas to the waiting room as soon as they hit the board, you can do even crazier stuff, and I'm curious to see what people come up with before this card eventually gets hit. If this isn't enough to convince you, we can also quickly look at some support cards available in the Avatar set. We have access to the level 0 Shuffleback Momo, which is also a climax swapper. With this, you can shuffle back Sokkas to the deck to then spawn them for when you want to try and attack as many times as possible. Or you can shuffle back level 1 characters to reuse their climax combos. We also have a couple of level 1 Twin Drive characters that we can use to try and increase our chances of hitting standby without having to resort to the Azula level 1 combo. In a similar vein, running the level 2 Katara and Aang for more top checks will also increase your odds of hitting standby, while including the level 2 Learning Avatar State Aang will give you 4 extra standby triggers if you have a standby in play. Anyway, thanks for watching, that was it for now. This card is absolutely nuts, so make sure to have fun with it and the Avatar set while it lasts. I know I definitely will. See you guys next time, bye bye.